Good day everyone, welcome to Maths World. Today we'll be looking into bearing and distance and we'll be treating 3-digit bearing. In my last video, I discussed the introduction of bearing and we'll solve more questions on compass bearing. Today we'll be going into 3-digit bearing. If you are watching my video for the first time, I am John Jesus, by name the Mini Einstein. Please subscribe, like, share and comment and turn on the notification button. We use these cardinal points whenever we want to do bearing. I told you in my last video. Now if you now want to do this one is not like my last video that I told you that compass bearing has these two starting points, which is north and south, which means we can have northeast, northwest or southeast, southwest. But in 3-digit bearing, it has only one starting point, which is north, only north, and we'll be moving clockwise if you are calculating anything. And you know that this place, this first quadrant, contains 90 degrees, and this second one also 90 degrees. So if you are starting from north to south, here will be 180 degrees. So west will be 270 degrees, and the last one, which is 360 degrees. So if you were given any question on 3-digit bearing, just note this point very well. This 90 degree is this point, and 180 is from this north to this part, and 270 is from north to this west, and 360 is from north to this point again. Now we call it 3-digit bearing because your number or whatever they give you, your question was, or your answer must be in 3 digits. Even if your answer is 75 degrees, you must add a 0 inside at the front of it, so you can be able to make it a 3-digit bearing. And if it is other one, other one is 3 digits, so you don't need it here. Now let me give you one example. We can see this question now. How do we solve this question? Remember, this 3-digit bearing is telling us that we are starting from north to whatever this line is. You can see that this is the line, so we are starting from north to this line. Do you get the point? We are starting from north to this line. Now let's now start. Remember what I told you here, from here to here is 180. 180 plus 70 is now 250. So we can say that the 3-digit bearing of this guy is this 180. From here like this to this place is 180 degree, and 180 plus 70 is 250 is what? 250 degree. This is the 3-digit bearing for this drawing. If they now give you a 3-digit bearing and they say that you should represent it inside this cardinal direction, how do you do it? You are given 100 degrees and they say that you should represent it in this cardinal point. What you do is to just start from north and count clockwise. Now this is 90. Remember, after 90 that is when 100 comes in, so it will fall under here, but it will be very small because here will be 10 degrees, because from here to here is 90, so the remaining part is 100, such that from here to this line that we drew is what? 100 degrees. Let me give you one more example. They can give you one question like this. This is actually your north. Note that. So if they don't put it there, you can actually put it by yourself. So you just know that this is your north, your south, your east and your west. And remember, we are starting from north to anywhere we see line. And where do we see line? This is where the line is. Okay, then I'll start. From this point to this point is where we are going to. But what is the point? We don't know. But from here to here is 90. And this place is 40. So this place up here will be what? 50 degrees. Such that 50 plus 40 will give you 90. The distance between north and east. So we can now say that our bearing is what? 050 degree. Remember, from north to wherever the line stops you. So this is the third question. I'll be moving to the next topic, which is what? Now let's now look into the relationship between compass bearing and 3-digit bearing. If our first question is something like this, if our first question is this, how do we solve this? Remember, for 3-digit bearing, you start from this point to wherever you see a line, but for compass bearing, it is this north or south that will be your starting point. All right, we have west here and we have east here, so our starting point for here is south, because we cannot start from west to south. I said that in my last video. We can only start from south to west, so we can only say southwest, we cannot say west south, and we can only say southeast or northeast northwest. We cannot say east west north or west north. So if you now want to say this in compass bearing, let's do the compass bearing first. So what is now the compass bearing? The compass bearing will be what? From south towards west. That's where the direction is, but in what degree? We can see that from south, the degree between south and west is 90 degrees. So here is 40. The remaining parts here will be 90 minus 40, which is 50 degrees. So since the remaining part here is 50 degrees, we cannot say south 50 degree west, which means south going to 50 degree west. What? Do you understand? South going to 50 degree west. That's how compass bearing is. Let's check 3-digit bearing. For 3-digit bearing, remember it has only one starting point, which is north. So we are starting from north to this line that it was drawn. So from here to here is 90, to here is 180. So to this place is now what? So if this place is 90, 180 plus 50, that will be what? 180 plus 50 is 230. You can actually calculate that from here like this to here is 180 degree. So 180 plus this 50 is 230 degree. So this is your 3-digit bearing. That is the relationship between 3-digit bearing and this compass bearing. They may give you in your question, they may give you compass bearing, telling you to convert it to 3-digit bearing. See how you do that. If the question says convert south 40 degree east to 3-digit bearing, how do you do that? First, represent it as at the cardinal point. After representing it like this, you can now change it back to 3-digit bearing. Let's represent. We have drawn this now. We can see that they say that south going to east in 40 degree, which means my south is going to east is 40 degree. I can draw something like this. Here will be 40 degree. South going to east in 40 degree. That's what it actually means. So if they now say that we should represent it in 3-digit bearing, the 3-digit bearing of this guy will be what? From north to this point, from here to this place. Remember, from here to this place is 90. From here to here is now the question. What can be the value from here to here? If this place is 40, probably this place is 50 degree, because from here to here is 90 degree. So if you are now looking for the 3-digit bearing, from north to this point is what? Is 140 degree. That is how you relate compass bearing and 3-digit bearing together. And if it is 3-digit bearing that they give you, you will also represent it in this format and you convert it back to compass bearing. Now we have come to the end of today's video. Let's see the top 3 questions that we solve every time. Here is the top 3 questions for today. Convert north 50 degree west to 3-digit bearing. Convert 285 degree to compass bearing, and this also you are representing it in both compass bearing and 3-digit bearing. This is the end of today's video. Please subscribe, like, share, and turn on the notification so that you can get notified for the videos I will be dropping. And don't forget to drop your answer in comment section below. Thank you.